Hey, this is Graham.
And this is Brian
from the Bombcast podcast.
And you're listening to Everything Pro Wrestling, a show by the fans, for the fans.
I've been waiting for this day for so long. He's never coming back. I hate you, Phil Brooks. You will never be seen in this company again. This was the attire I just happened to choose to wear today. We went with a different background, just trying different things for Collision. Big thank you to everyone who supports the podcast. I will have my moment in the sun, but we are going to review Collision. I promise you guys that. I am gracious enough to be joined by BJ, who you often hear in the chat. He is running Run the Ropes Facebook group. He's got some good wrestling stuff that he puts together. You've had him on the show before. BJ will provide you with the layers, thoughts, deep process thinking. Woo! It's going to be good. Lots of conversation to be had. I know what a lot of you guys are thinking when it comes to this. We are going to get into it. I promise you. I'm going to let BJ talk. I swear we're going to get into all of this. But first, we'll hit the intro. Let's get it.
Everything pro wrestling, they can never be you. Listen to the podcast here for the people. The best show that's here, so listen in. Let the knowledge begin. The opinion and the lesson. Yes, everyday pro wrestling, they can never be you.
Well. Folks, if you guys want to help out Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. Easiest way to help us out is to hit the like button, put a comment down below, join the chat, talk live in the live chat with us. Your comments will be read. If you guys put a comment, I will respond to the comment. I love reading those, actually. It's always fun. If you didn't make it to the live showing, hop in there, join in. It's fun. It's great. Good times. If you could also leave us a 5-star review if you are enjoying this special edition review. I'll let you know now, Collision is not going to be a weekly review. The times that Punk has come back, I have luckily had an opportunity to do this. Normally, this does not happen, and this will not happen. I don't care if Punk's on week 2, 3. It's not going to happen all the time. We'll talk about it, but you may have to wait a little bit for it. BJ, I promised the people you would talk. What is going on, brother?
How's it going? I'm doing all right. I'm glad to be on here with you. It has been too long. And yeah, things are good. This whole concept of Collision and what this show may become and how it's all gone is super interesting. And I know that this won't be a weekly thing for you to do, so I'm glad to be on the first one and on a special. So
yeah. And who knows, maybe if I can pop on again for a special one, I'm more than willing to do that. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in the meantime. We got Collision here. I want to say hi to some people in the chats. I'm going to let you guys talk your stuff first. It's fine. I have no issue with that. I've always been fair on the show, but I will be giving out my final receipts about this subject tonight. I hope this is a dead topic after me and BJ are going to get into this deep dive, though, one last time.
I was going to say,
Duck the Elite Chants are gold. Yes. Funny that you said duck. It would be quack, right? Just saying. I don't know. I'm just saying maybe it correlates.
The true Bill in a world of fake bucks. Of
counterfeit bucks. Love it. The man has money lines. Here is Terrell. Terrell hates CM Punk. CM Punk, tell me when I've told a lie. Me and my family, you just did. This man threw shots at the locker room. What locker room did he throw shots at? He told everybody. That man was clear as day in that press conference. If he didn't like you, he said your name. In most companies, anywhere I've ever worked, if I got up and said, you know what, the top people who are working in this building, I don't like you, I'm pretty sure I have no fear of anybody else at that point in time. I don't agree with that. The locker room should be mad about that. He went on to saying, "What's in the bag, Max? MJF will kick his blankety blank again." He did lose that dog collar match that MJF brags about a lot, though. I've always said that when MJF says that, I was in the best dog collar match. You lost. You know, in the back of my mind, I'm like, why is he saying all of this? And he didn't apologize for his comments towards Sammy, Darby, Jungle Boy, MJF, Ricky Starks, and all the kids. No apology. Hypocrite. I don't know why he would, because he's a supporter of most of those people that you have said, in my opinion, minus Jungle Boy, I think. But I think everyone else he's never said, I haven't heard him say a bad word about. Well, maybe MJF and the stuff he was pulling for a little bit there. I think Punk was annoyed with that too, but that's probably another story for another time. I got nothing else on that, BJ.
Yeah, it's when the show intro was unveiled last night, which is great, by the way.
Elton John, yo, listen, I don't care what anybody says. You can get mad all you want. Sir Elton John is one of the best musicians. This dude is a talented beast.
Oh, yeah. It gave the show a completely different feel. But I did notice, because we never got confirmed that there was going to be a roster split. Toni said something, I think at one point he mentioned like a transfer portal or something like that, but he never said that how that was going to work. They were still figuring it out or whatever. But when you saw the intro, there's no Kenny. There's no Bucks. There's no Hangman. There's no Jungle Boy. There is Darby. Like, you do have Darby. So, like, and you have MJF in it. So, like, pillar-wise, you know what I mean? Like, but it does seem to... Oh, and no Jericho. And
for
so
now.
It's like, oh, okay.
Listen, I personally don't think it's a good idea to do a roster split between all of this. That's my opinion on it. I think it's bad because now you're limiting yourself. If someone gets hurt, if something happens, why would you have? And if you're going to do a hard brand split, well, what are these guys fighting for? They'll need their own championships. And why would TNT, Warner Brothers Discovery, whoever you want to attribute this to, I don't know who's in charge of this anymore because of the name changes, but whoever is in charge of this big corporate conglomerate or whatever you want to call it, how do you justify not using Ring of Honor that had their own championships? You could have had the star power and just move it over like, nah, go get some different names and go build up something else. We don't want that Ring of Honor name. You know what I mean? It's weird. You could have had a library full of content too, but instead You're like, no, create more AEW.
Well, in the same breath, you do have an interesting opportunity with the way that they have Ring of Honor. And now, like, this literally just sparked in my brain. So, like, this isn't something I've said on there. But you have, if you turn it into this and if you use it as such, which I'd say we're about 50-50 right now. If you use it as developmental, you have a long established brand that you have now modified into a long-standing developmental territory where you can say, before CM Punk was CM Punk, before Samoa Joe was Samoa Joe. So I do get that in a bit of a way. Now, I don't think maybe that was the intent. I'm sure if Ring of Honor could have been on TBS, but it does put them in a unique situation to where they can now, in their history books and their lore, they can say that, look, we acquired the biggest developmental territory that has existed in wrestling history.
Smoke it, right? Enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see how he's going to be able to use all of these. It's a lot of wrestling for one company again. Like, we're in the same boat as WWE, kind of. Like, that's a lot of wrestling in a week. But okay. Gotta show love. Thank you to everybody. I'm going to try and get through everyone's comments real quick. Pro Wrestling Shoot, shout out to Jesse and James, said, I'm here for a celebration. Good evening, everyone, from Matt Lopez. Let's effing go. Counterfeit Bucks. Eric Douglas said, bro, that felt like a 2-hour Rampage. Eric, I think you are tripping, my friend. I think you are tripping. Rampage has never been, it's been hot a couple times, but I don't think Rampage was ever, I don't know, man. I don't know. I like that. I like that show a lot, how they did Collision tonight. If they can keep that energy, I think I'll be fine. We got some more people disagreeing. Jocelyn, awesome first show. I thought Thunder Rosa was going to be on tonight. I think she's still injured, right, BJ? That's my understanding.
Yeah. The last thing that I heard that came from her was that she's still like training and rehabbing. So like she's not back 100%. And the way that she keeps phrasing it is she still doesn't yet know if she will be, but she's working on trying to be. Like she really wants to be, but they're still like monitoring her progress while she's also trying to rehab and also do the limited amount of training that she can.
Big get well wishes to Thunder Rosa. I told everybody that was going to be a sleeper match. We're going to get into that. Renegade L2K said Young Bucks. That is also the emoji for pervy JR comments.
No. I think that one's the emoji for them on Dynamite this week. That's what will make it, because they wore the cowboy hats. They did.
They had their they had the whole get up on. Hung Bucks were in full effect. The Chicago crowd showed up tonight. They did. They definitely they were acting very different than when the Elite were in the ring. That time when they did the whole bite and everything, I was like, the fans have even flipped. Weird. Those chops were nuts. People are saying, chat's going in. Hold on, what's Terrell saying? Like, who carried the match? It wasn't CM Snorefest. Oh, spare me. The crowd was hot for a tag. Come on. You tell me who else gets it. Sean Hubbard from Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. Clash of the Podcast is live every Monday at 6:05. I'm sure we're going to get Sean's thoughts on this. CM Punk did well. Wrestling is better with CM Punk on television. I hope it remains that way. Wrestling on Saturday night is a nice change from the norm. I like it. Good show. Renegade L2K said, I agree Punk should have lost. Yo, Conrad, you got something today? Oh, I got it, baby. I got the heat if it's necessary. Anthony Slate, what is good? CM Punk is the man, you know it. He said, hit him up, style beat. Chill. I don't want to go in. XG Dub, thank you. I appreciate everybody showing love. What an unprofessional, narcissistic jerk. Get him off my TV with the laugh faces. I see you. Tokyo the Menace, Collision was 10 out of 10. I like it, Tokyo. Coming with some positivity. Donnie Tarantino, what is good? He said, CM Punk fire. Appreciate you. Rick Joe, what is good? He said, sup, Conrad and BJ. Appreciate you, Rick. Appreciate you. Positive. I guess, listen, I'm just trying to see if we missed anybody. Earl Cole, thank you for joining us. AEW Collision was wickedly good. I appreciate that, Earl Cole. Much love. If you guys got thoughts, we're going to go through segment by segment, give our thoughts on all of this. Conrad don't have Dom heat. You can have all the heat you want. We're going to get into the article and all that stuff with it. So, BJ, let's kick it off with Punk's promo. We all sat here, bated breath, waiting, and I was like, nah, there's no way they're going to kick off the show with Punk, right? Nah, ain't no way. Ain't no way, Sway. Well, they lied. They definitely kicked it off with a bang. I was fearful. I was very fearful of what was going to be like, and I'm a fan. I was like, that was one of those, you sure about that? You sure that's the move you want to make? Like that's what you want to do? Oh. And he came out there. So do we have to give background? I guess the ESPN thing will be best to give some background on. Punk did an interview and he kind of spoke his mind. He didn't really give no comments. He kind of talked about the match with Hangman Page. Hangman chopping people across the face a little bit. He I
got feelings on that ESPN article.
Go ahead. Go. Let's throw it to you.
Okay. All right. Before I get into this, I will say I am seeing some of the comments too. I understand there's a lot coming through, so I'll say like, hey to Positively E and Pro Wrestling Shoot, and those that have said hello. Rick, also, I'm going to say this. This is a bit of a plug for you. I have been watching for months now these comments it's and the amount of people watching grow and get bigger and bigger. And I love that for you. And I am going to reiterate for you that if you guys have a comment that you want to put and want to make sure it gets read, you can do super chats. I know that Conrad is never pushing that you have to pay to get your content on there. He tries to do the best that he can, but I have watched. I've literally been in here watching, in the trenches watching, to where we had enough time for every comment to where now there are times that we don't. There are episodes that we don't, and that's wonderful. That's a great thing. So applause to you on that. But yeah, just reiterating that. Now, ESPN article, we'll get into it. So I'm going to say this 110%. I have listened to you on the Dynamite reviews. I have listened on the Clash of the Podcast. I know your feelings on it. I've had conversations with you. Nothing has changed on my opinion, on my feelings on Hangman Page. Now, stuff has on Punk, but I've kind of like I've swayed away and kind of swayed like back, but like not as much as I was with Punk, but this whole situation should not take away from how I feel with Punk as a wrestler and how I like Punk and how I've enjoyed Punk. So I'm trying not to let it do that. The thing that I will say is I hate that he brought up the Hangman stuff for a couple of reasons. One of those reasons is from the way that the article sounded and from what we know chronologically, and from what we've seen throughout Twitter and stuff over the time that Punk's been away and dealing with this, the Hangman working too hard stuff, that got addressed to him by Arn Anderson being too stiff. And
is this the Joey Janela? I know I'm getting into some old stuff here.
He was a reference on it too. It was during this time that he is he had remorse about that. So the reports and everything go. But what I've known about Hangman from at least meeting him in person, seeing what I can see from what he gives out on social media, from outtakes on BTE where it's not his character, like where they've done like the questionnaires and things of that nature and stuff like that. Hangman seems to be a pretty good dude. He seems in most regards to be respectful. In this situation and in what he did, I call that a jab. I call what Hangman did a jab. The cutting the promo and talking about what they didn't talk about. That being said, until Punk brought it up at the media scrum, we all just kind of thought, like, what was Hangman going on about? Because that was kind of weird.
Do you remember my review? I don't know if you were in that review that night, but I definitely, me and Derek were like, it was weird, but I didn't know what it was about. I was like,
right.
Because Punk looked, in this, Punk looks stupid in the end. He's trying to shake this guy's hand. He just disrespects him. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
You guys were singing together last time I saw you two, and it got weird.
Right. So I'm sitting here and thinking like, okay, we didn't know about this until right before Brawl Out, like post-conference or the post-media scrum or whatever. At that point, by that point, we had already had Punk call him out after he was not able to come out, didn't know he was going to be called out, to make him look like a punk for not accepting the challenge. That's the receipt. Right there was the receipt. He added on to it at the post-media scrum. Hangman was not involved in the brawl out. I'm not saying he didn't throw the first shot. I'm just saying he was not involved in that situation. Then, so we get in.
Hold on, may I offer a volley, though? See, there's little things in between that I think people forget. That meeting where nothing was done, I think, was what flipped it to the other side. So you're not going to do anything because that's your boy? And it was like, well, because there was no punishment dealt. Nothing seemed like it happened. It was just like, well, okay. But
this is what I'm trying to say with that promo. So he might have like got out of line, but he did it in a way where the perception on like social media and everything was like, that was weird. Like Hangman was weird. And that was all we left until Punk started talking about it. He opened it up. He had just done like feuds with MJF, who had said worse. He had just done feuds with Eddie Kingston, who Eddie Kingston, whether it was planned or not, had said, I'll say it because they don't want to. Nobody wants you here. I don't want you here. And he dealt with that. He didn't bring that up. He didn't have issue. He didn't take issue and keep bringing that up. But this one line by Hangman, which had everyone confused until Punk exacerbated it for the public. Now in the ESPN article, because Hangman's not a part of the NBA stuff and the actual fight, he's throwing on him again. And it's like, that was a layer that wasn't needed, man. Like, and that's me saying this as like, I'm reading this article and I'm like, all right, what is Punk gonna say? I hope it's not anything too bad. I'm just excited to see him back. I want to see how the show goes. I want to see how he handles this. And then basically what I get from it is I'm going to take an extra jab at Hangman, and I'm going to say that we've already been told that we're not going to make this storyline. And I'm like, well, so you're throwing away money, and you took an extra jab at one of your company's biggest baby faces and has been booked as such since the start of the company.
I think that the Kingston and MJF stuff was different. I think they talked about those things being said.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that
when you don't do that in pro wrestling, I feel like if you did that to me, I don't trust you anymore. Because you're going to take liberties to get one over on me in front of all these people. So what's going to happen when we're in the match? Are you going to deck me for real? And then the chop to the face, which I think Hangman did it on purpose? No, 100% no. But once they got into it, chop to the face, bro, you screwed up big time. Like now Punk's wondering, because in the whole match, did you notice hesitations? Even on neck breakers and stuff, it was off like a second or two. Because I think Punk's like, what are you doing? Okay. All right, I'm trusting you. Don't mess with me. And you could just feel it throughout that match. That wasn't the best match those two could have had, I feel.
No, definitely wasn't.
They could have had a great match, but they probably didn't communicate, called it in the ring, and then it led to some mistakes happening. And then I'm sure Punk's like, yo, what are you doing?
Right. And but that's what I was saying. At the end of the day, and this was my big thing of it, is I'm glad Punk is back. I'm glad to see him back. I want to see what he does. I would love for there to actually be storyline out of this, because honestly, if there's not, we got a whole bigger problem with this company on our hands than if we did run it. But he could say what he wants about the Bucks. He honestly, even though he might be cool with Kenny, with the situation, Kenny was involved, say what you want about Kenny. This stuff with him and Hangman, I feel like either should just be dropped, or those two should have had the conversation to squash their stuff, because Hangman wasn't there involved in the brawl out. Hangman could have smoothed stuff. Hangman could have talked with him either way. But what I'm saying is, it seems like for all the same reasons that I like Punk and think that he's a good person overall, I like Hangman for those same things. So to see them have a beef that isn't something that's like, oh, we had this one thing that happened, and so we don't talk and we don't bring it up anymore, to I'm going to keep peppering that. I'm going to keep peppering that. I was like, come on, man. Like, please just be friends. Like,
right.
Like, at least those two.
Like great friends in the beginning, and you were like, this is kind of cool. That could be a cool, like, one-off tag team for a Dynamite main event. That's what you were thinking when you saw it. I was like, listen, Hangman ain't so bad, but now I feel like the line's been drawn and people have taken sides, whether you're Team Punk, Team Elite, whatever it may be. And I see people in the chat, Deanna, Jesus, welcome. Who else did I miss real quick? I saw Brandon joined us. Sick. What up? Appreciate you guys. One time for those who know. Yeah. You just had to. We just had to do it one time. Yeah, the whole deal, I guess, with Punk and all of this. I'll add this last caveat to it. The X factor in this is Colt Cabana.
I hit you with something real quick.
Huh? Say that again, BJ.
I'm gonna hit you with something real quick.
Okay, hold on. Colt Cabana, I think, knew he was gonna not get renewed his contract because he saw how it's been done with other people. I love it. I love it.
Had that ready.
With Colt Cabana, he knew his contract wasn't going to be renewed. So what happened? He probably went and talked to his friends. And he said, yeah, it's funny, when I went to go away to do Young Rock, Ace Steel came in and took my spot, when I don't think that was the case. Like I said, if Punk wanted him gone, he would have did it before he signed. He knew Colt was there already. He didn't care. So what? Okay, I don't care. I don't care. He commentated on a match when he was in the ring. He didn't care. Like, I'm pretty sure he was just like, I will ignore this and just whatever. That's how I thought that's what it was. And I think Colt complained to the Elite and their friends, and it got blown out of proportion and seen a certain way, which I can manipulate any situation I want, BJ. Truthfully, think about this like a lawyer. You can manipulate any situation however you want, and you can do that type of stuff. At the end of the day, I hope this is a work. Let's get into Punk's promo because we'll be here all night talking.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say Like I said my piece. I was waiting for yours, and now let's enjoy the show.
Blame Colt Cabana. So listen, CM Punk's promo, he comes out and starts off with, I'm tired of being nice. That's what I called this promo. He says he couldn't have got anywhere without the fans, but the thing that some people hate him for is the exact same reasons people love him for, just like BJ mentioned just now. He says that he is the truth, and the truth is painful. Brother, that is no lie when someone says that, because you have friends like that. The friends who tell you the truth are the ones that probably you're like, damn, that was harsh, but damn, it was true. You sit there and have those conversations. We had some chants. I was trying to actually wait so I could say this stuff. Fuck the Elite chants reigned throughout Chicago. The same people who had fuck CM Punk chants when the Elite were in the ring. I didn't forget this. They could portray this on their reality show however they want. Hot giggity garbage. They're lying. I didn't have a ring. You have a ring in your backyard. Shut up. You could have went out there and took bumps. Stop lying. Those reality shows sometimes just eye rolling stuff to say in it. Yeah. He said that David Zaslav calls him One Bill Phil because basically he's genuine in a world full of counterfeit bucks, as BJ also has pointed out. And he mentioned that dog collar match. And what I think Punk was doing was opening doors for matches for himself. Mm-hmm. Here's one with MJF. I'm going to open up one later with Samoa Joe, Jay White, and such. And I'm also going to open up one with the Elite by this promo. That's how I viewed this. That's how it felt. That's how it smelled to me. Even if it was just Kenny, it's there. He said what he said, and it's there if they want to take the chance. He made it known in that ESPN article that he was the one told, do not contact my clients anymore about this, when he's trying to end it. So this is a weird situation to put themselves in. I thought Punk's promo was money. I thought it was on the spot, and I loved it.
The only thing that I have with the with this whole segment, I kept noticing the body language. I'm interested to see if Punk, knowing that he's a smart guy and knowing that he knows that he's going to be booed in some places, if this isn't the start of him with a bit of a heel turn. Because I don't know if you noticed, because even though he's in Chicago, he came out looking frustrated. He didn't shake anybody's hands.
Shaved head.
Shaved head. He took the AEW thing off the mic before he started talking. And when he left and went back up the ramp, nope. And he even started to do a double take, like he was gonna maybe go and hype up, and then he walked away. And so I'm like, ooh, is he knows he's going to be cheered here. Is he just prepping for the attitude in buildings where he's not?
Man, oh man, oh man. Let me see here. Punk and FTR grabbed the LGBTQ sign off air. You know how some fans will react to that. I don't give a damn how they react to that. It was on their gear tonight. Did nobody notice the back of their gear had the pride colors on it? So I respect them for that. You know, much respect. And you know what? Kenny did the same thing before too. So I got nothing but love when it comes to that. He says that he brought out wrestling shoes and I loved it. And he said, until you can fill my shoes, I ain't going nowhere, basically. And I was like, damn, that was good. Because the whole time when he cut the promo, I'm like, why is he wearing these shoes around his neck? The bag thing. So he said basically he had his championship in the bag. And I love that he did that he brought out a bag and did that. And I also thought maybe that could have been a shot at Kenta a little bit, asking for like, oh, I want the bag. Maybe the bag was right here. It's always been right here. So maybe they can get that in there. I think if you can get Punk on that card. Listen, I'm tired of paying for AEW shows expecting Punk, and I haven't gotten Punk once. I had him on commentary in Rochester. Give me CM Punk. I was like, oh, All Out, he's definitely going to be on the show in Buffalo. Womp, womp, womp. I was at the show where they announced all the suspensions and took the play and everything. What the hell? I can't catch a break with that. Were those the same shoes he wore when he broke his ankles in? Come on now. That's the ultimate hater stuff. And the whole, like, people want Punk to get injured. Like, I'm like, you guys are talking it into existence at this point. Let the dude just come back and let's see what happens.
Technically, the boot that he got injured in, they were Danhausen's. So Danhausen cursed him. Just saying.
Yep. Blame Danhausen. Pepsi Phil. I wish Derek was here so he could do the that. Let's get into the rest of this card because there'll be more time for CM Punk in the main event, of course, because that's how we roll. One time for Derek, Regina. Make sure you guys get your tickets for Collision. Just had to say that.
I only had to do the snicker just for Derek as well. I had to
every time. Derek, grow up.
It makes me think of that Family Guy joke.
Oh
like where they just gotta say a word and it makes Lois lose and she's like Peter, like yeah. Like that's what that word is for Derek,
for real. AEW Collision Saturday night, Wardlow, the TNT champion, versus Luchasaurus. So I'm not gonna go through this move by move. Wardlow did hit a nice drop kick in the beginning of this, I'll say that.
Swanton was great.
Wardlow's is great. There is an issue with how we book Wardlow. I don't get what we're doing here. I'm just going to cut to the chase. Luchasaurus is a better wrestler with Christian. Wardlow can't keep the TNT title to save himself. So stop going for this thing. And I'm done with him at this point winning this title. He gets cracked in the head by Christian with the camera. Did you see what move Luchasaurus hit to win? I missed it.
It was like, didn't he hit like a forearm in the back of the head?
Maybe. And then he pinned him after that?
I thought. I don't think it was another choke stand.
I saw the camera shot and then he pinned him 1, 2, 3. That's all I saw. Christian is a little Weasley bastard and he found a way to do it again. And I love after Luchasaurus. How did Luchasaurus become a singles champion before Jungle Boy? I don't get it. Luchasaurus wins, and I love that Christian took the belt. It was like, he looks like he's in a video game, and he won, and Luchasaurus has to hold him up.
It's the CLB.
Yes. You know what? I still stand by this, and I told Pro Wrestling Shoot this in our group chat that we have talking about wrestling. They should have flipped these matches as well. I said the same thing with Jericho and Cole. Like the mixed tag should have been on the pay-per-view, and Jericho and Cole on Sanctions and on Dynamite, and I feel Christian and the ladder match should have been the opener here, and then you should have flipped this match to be on that card that was already kind of that's my opinion.
Yeah.
And I love Christian too, Jocelyn. I love Christian. Don't get enough love. Captain Charisma.
Looking for the peeps.
My poor War Daddy. I'm telling you, ladies love Wardlow.
Yeah.
I just can't believe they gave that damn dinosaur the title. Talk to TK, bro. I got nothing. I blame MJF for the downfall. Oh, don't get me. That's another thing in the whole Punk thing that everybody forgot conveniently. Like, remember when MJF walked out on everybody? Remember when MJF almost screwed Wardlow? I know he put him over like $1 million, and Tony's booking is also partially to blame, but people forget a lot of the stuff that happens with it. You know?
Yeah.
I'm glad you admitted it, Lisa. Thank you.
Hate.
Need that shirt, BJ. We got to get that. We have a good one. We're past the 10-minute mark, and this championship is effing worn out. Tammy Sitch, if you will. Oh my, Miro is the best champ the TNT title had. Man, it's getting dark side of the ring up in here. AEW after dark here. Yeah, listen, he won the title. Is this the end of this feud, or do you think Wardlow just gets this right back? Like, what are they doing?
He definitely isn't done with Christian. But whether that means he's shifted the focus and he's after Christian, which means there's no TNT title match, and Luchasaurus moves on to something else, maybe Jungle Boy. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing with this. At this point, though, I'm like, let's move Wardlow into something else. That's how I feel. Like, let's just move him on. Get Christian, Wardlow, and that damn dinosaur off my TV. Work, everyone. Definitely need that shirt. Best TNT champ was Mr. Brody Lee, B-Boy Skyline says. I did like him dumping that crusty, nasty like plate dish over Cody's body.
He had such a strong victory for that belt.
Was great. The boyhood dream came true for Christian. Rob is saying no to that. He still stands on Miro. Wardlow should be going after MJF. I agree. I think it's time to put the belt back on Hobbs, though. Someone said, or his coattails. I like Christian. I'm not going to get to the whole Christian and Edge thing tonight, but that's what happened. Next up, we get Powerhouse Hobbs announcing he's in the Owen Hart Foundation Cup. I guess that's. I wish they would just call it the Owen Hart Cup. It'd be way nicer, but the Owen Hart Foundation Cup tournament. It's going to be good. I like that they started giving us some names that are going to be in it, and it sounds more star-studded this year. Sounds like they're trying to really beef this up to be something.
Well, I mean, they're doing like the whole tour of Canada while they're doing like the shows. It's starting and ending in Canada. I don't think every show that they're having is in Canada where they're doing the tournament, but I know the start and the finish is definitely in Canada. So, yeah. I think they're trying to make it real big.
We'll get to that, Jocelyn. I promise you. Yes, he's in the cup as well. We're gonna get through it. Let me get to this next match real quick. Let's talk a little. I told y'all this was gonna steal. This is the sleeper match, in my opinion. I love this. I don't know if you feel the same or as strong as me with the BJ, but Buddy Matthews, or as he was called on ring announcing, Buddy Murphy. I love it that someone said that. I still call him Buddy Murphy to this day. I don't know why. Versus Andrade.
Yeah. No, Dasha, when Buddy Murphy. I was like, wait, what?
Dasha can say whatever. She can say whatever she wants. That's all I'm gonna say. Dasha can say whatever she wants.
But yeah, I heard that. I was like, that's not his name. Like,
So Andrade came out. I like the new mask. He finally had different pants that weren't going to tear off, I noticed for once. Even though we definitely saw them yellow draws throughout the match. He may need to put a belt on or something with it. But Andrade was out. He had his working boots on. He had me thinking he was hurt at one point. That's when I was like, yeah, he's good. He's really good at this. And once again, I was watching with a casual. Mother-in-law was here. I love her reaction. She probably doesn't even know she gets mentioned in my show all the time. So I like watching because she doesn't watch it every week. So she's like, who's this? Who's this guy? Why does he come out with that? Oh, he's going to take the mask off. Because she was like, what is this thing on his head? And I'm like, okay. So she doesn't get that he's wearing a mask. It's a mask. And then she saw him do the La Sombra pose into the ropes. And she was like, wow, that was really good. And she was so impressed. Versus me, I'm like, yeah, I've seen it 1,000 times. Cool, great, wonderful. You forget how impressive that little stuff is. So it reminded me like, that's pretty impressive, dude. Make sure you're paying attention to this. Shout out to whoever had that sign too in the crowd for Buddy Matthews about Rhea Ripley and Dominic and the mommy being taken and all that. That's got to make this dude mad. But he's going home to Rhea Ripley, so there's no complaints, I would assume, on his end. Can't be. And as BJ would say, the bakery is probably open for him whenever he wants. So get them cakes, bro. Get them cakes.
They just let Dom sleep on the couch.
Oh, Dom. Silly Dom. I love that he always talks about being in jail, too. I'm always like, I know that dude ate McDonald's that one night he was there. Just show it. Just show he asked for a Happy Meal, and that's what he ate that day.
I think they cut in like a promo like that very first week that he was there like for like less than an hour, like 54 minutes or something. And he was like, well, those 54 minutes. I was just like,
right?
Yeah.
Charlotte's husband versus Rhea's second boyfriend. Terrible. Listen, this match was really, really good. They told a great story with the dragon screws to Buddy's knee. Buddy's knee was injured. He put him in the figure eight, and then it went. I don't know if I said this on the podcast, but I swear to you, I said this to Derek, Rob, and a bunch of other people. This match was leading to exactly where I thought Andrade, Roosh, and Draglistico or Preston Vance are going to go up against these dudes, because that's where the only way I saw this going, bro. Mm-hmm. And it was money, man. Andrade used the figure eight to win, and Charlotte's retweeting it. What world do we live in where this is all right? I'm shocked.
The husband and wife share the same finisher. Now we got to see Murphy win with a riptide.
Yeah. Let Dom sleep on the couch or watch. Come on, that just made me think of that Dave Chappelle skit. Hold the camera, Chuck. Andrade's using Charlotte's figure eight. Oh, what was that? No, that was the Mad Real World. Shut up and hold the camera. What's up, Katie? If you know, you know. Following up from that, House of Black shows up. They're there to deliver the ass whippings. We're getting big kicks, beat down to Andrade from Brody King. I like this. I thought it was well done, and I think this show is going to elevate. So people just think, oh, this is only for Punk. This is for Punk. This show is going to help the problem that Tony has. There's nothing for House of Black to do. No, you need to have storylines on a 2-hour show. So now they've got something to do. Ricky Starks has something to do. The Acclaimed will always have something to do. You got to have stuff for these people to do. When Wardlow's off of Dynamite now, you got Collision. That's how I think Collision should be used. This week, you're on this show. Then you're on this show. Because Punk's going to want to be on Dynamite. You know it.
Yeah, I think they're going to hold him off just a little bit.
Yeah, for now, to see if they can maybe smooth things over. But you guys know when you go to Europe, we're all here. How's it going? How you doing, Chuck? Matt, Nick? Hey, wait a minute. I want to talk to you guys for a second. You got to see them. There's no way. Yeah. I'm just chilling in the office with Tony. Punk, I'll meet you downstairs by the ice bath. All right, bud? I'll talk to you there in a second. We're the Bucks right now. You can't be playing this espionage stuff. All right. You got to show up and do what you got to do for this. So
that'll be season 2 of the reality show.
Oh goodness, I can't wait for that, man. Call that man Cookie Matthews. We do not kink shame here on Everything Pro Wrestling. That was funny though, but we do not kink shame. All right, you do you, Playboy. That's all I can say. The really real world. Connor, what is good, man? Appreciate you hopping in here and joining us. You guys are coming with some good comments, man. I love you guys for that. Thank you so much. If you haven't, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you. Did we cover everything? Do you have anything you wanted to add to that match?
I thought the match was really good. As you said, I thought Andrade was like actually hurt there for a minute. So like, yes, I agree with you and Matt. We don't. But yeah, I would like to see these guys continue to do stuff. Like, I'm glad that we got the ending that we did with House of Black showing up, and giving him a beatdown.
Yes, right. Pineapples. You gotta be in the live chat to know what we're talking about right now. Deanna said good match though. Yes, Deanna, I did see your CM Punk comment before. I know you said go away. I saw it. See, I mentioned him. I mentioned the bad ones too. I'm not just covering it up. Next, Scorpio Skye promo. I felt like the graphics were a little off on this. Something like I thought someone else was coming out, like the lights went out again, but then we just cut to a Scorpio Skye promo. It felt weird a little bit, the transition to it, but whatever. And maybe that was because Scorpio had the gimmick of the whole like snap your fingers and then the lights go out. I'm happy he's going to be back on TV because I've been wondering where he's been for a while because I haven't seen him since the show that I went to where Wardlow beat him for the title. What do you know? Wardlow's like a 3-time champ now, and here he comes, finally coming back.
Yeah.
We got to stop with this TNT title. We have to just chill out and get plans for this. I feel like Tony just made it the belt like the European title that would just change hands just because. Like, I don't care. Let's do it. Change the belt tonight. Who's going to stop it?
And then he made the international be the equivalent of the IC. So, yeah.
Dustin asked, did the words yes or no pop up on the screen again tonight? I did not notice that again.
I think that might have just been a production glitch.
I do think it was just an accident. Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling are in the ring. Everyone in Chicago's fat. Yawn, yawn, yawn. Actually, Tony Nese is I think where's he from? Is he from Strong Eye? I think so. He might be from Strong Island. I don't remember where he's from. Maybe Manhattan at the toughest, but this dude comes out there and he's talking about how New York is better. Good heat for that one. Then they got pissed. Like, okay, buddy. I saw the dude with the middle fingers in the background. He did that a lot tonight. Dude in the white shirt, he was just sitting there. I'm going to just put up the pinkies, but he was like sitting there the whole time like this. Anytime someone cut a promo, middle fingers up, I was just like, all right, dude. Tony Nese comes out and he is going to keep talking all this stuff, and we get the return of the Redeemer, Miro. It felt good to have him come back. I like it. I could put the graphic up. We're not going to. I don't have it handy right now, at least a good looking one. So Miro dominated, and that graphic would have been up longer than this match was, in my opinion. Miro crushed him. I'm glad he's back. Well, how did you feel about Miro? He put someone, RIP to the Iron Sheik. He put him in the camel clutch, broke back, make humble. That's it, man. That's all I got.
Yeah, I'm glad he's back too. I don't like how they brought him back.
You thought it was just too plain Jane?
Too plain Jane, and this is not me talking up Miro because of what Miro did or said before he left or not wanted to do plans or whatever. He needs to be at a bigger place. He needs to be taking someone else down, not Toni Nese. Toni Nese, what's Toni Nese done in AEW? No offense to Toni Nese. I like Toni Nese. Toni Nese was one of my favorites from the Cruiserweight Classic. But what's he done in AEW?
And Miro came across in this as a face.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they did it. I don't know. But I feel like this is kind of like Tony extending the olive branch, saying, like, let's work together again. I think his discipline was over for that. Like, you don't want to agree to it? Okay, I'll call you when I got something for you. I got a lot of other people I got to write for, though. And Miro kind of paid the price. It was like an injury. He was gone as long as Punk. Think about that. That's a long time to not have him on the show. Miro looked really good. Did wish he had a new entrance, though. I liked it, though. I thought it had a little more pomp and circumstance. Maybe he had that pyro before. It's been so long since I've seen him. I don't remember. I hate it when they bury Nese, though. Yeah, I mean, I think Nese is the person you want on ROH. He's the guy that they should be working with as they come up through the brand. Rob says, as a hefty brother myself, I do agree with Nese. Put that deep dish crap down. Miro squashing the guy who didn't need to be squashed. Miro should be after Orange Cassidy. Maybe that's where they go with it. That's
what I thought was going to happen initially. I thought this whole Orange Cassidy storyline of him being just so worn down had a possible outcome of Miro being the Redeemer. And hey, guess what? Orange Cassidy did what he could, but you're facing Miro, and he has an Orange is worn out. So Miro relieves him of the title with a beatdown, and that's that. You know, I thought that could have been a thing, but
I feel like they have a lot of faith in Orange right now, though. And I keep telling people like that doubt it. like I understood parts of like if you guys listened before when Casey was on, Casey said he thought Orange is being booked too strong. Like he's kicking out of pipe shots. Like he's not making this up. He kicked out of a pipe shot from the Butcher and Blade where I was like, all right, a little ridiculous there. And it's like, what is this, Goldberg? You need the stun gun to beat this dude? What's gonna happen? But on the same token, the people were like, he's not popular, he's not this, he's not that. He is the highest rated. Punk's up there. Punk's probably in the second or third video that's like the highest. And we're talking millions of views. This brother has the #1 video, and it's all about him. Orange Cassidy's popular. Sorry, newsflash. I don't agree with everything that some of these guys say that where they're like, he's pockets. You know who I'm talking about. I don't agree with it. You're wrong.
I think someone in that video and some weapon maybe that he's never dealt with yet might be his downfall.
Get into it. Go ahead.
The hammer.
The hammer. I've been waiting for him to come back too. I think he deserves a big match at All In. I really do.
I think that might be where it happens.
Right. During that time, Sheik was around a lot of enablers that encouraged. Yeah. I saw them talking about Sheik on Howard Stern there in the chat. OC's been a great champ, defending it all the time. That is true. Orange Cassidy is literally world champion material, and he's been a strong international champion. But by All In, he should be losing it to Miro. I think who is the Hammer? Pac. Someone said Greg the Hammer. Yeah, Greg Valentine coming out of retirement. I'm gonna put this damn figure 4 on you, and you gotta tap out. No, we're talking about Pac. If you guys remember the Hammer that was being used in all those matches, I think he's still dealing with a broken nose or trying to recover from it.
He had to have surgery because of the way the breathing was. That's why he had that mask during most of that best of 7. And then he's been gone. Yes, MC Hammer.
Yes.
But to piggyback off of Dustin's comment about world champion material, if you remember, it was the pandemic Double or Nothing with the triple threat. There was at one point, even with me and Kenny being like the belt collector at the time, I honestly thought like Orange Cassidy had it, and like it was such a close near fall. But like the fact that I initially looked at that match and was like, yeah, there's no way Kenny's losing here. But that match, like the match made me believe that it could happen.
I think with Orange, so there are weird things with Orange. There have been times where I think like him doing the lazy stuff makes people look weird at points in times. Like I watched Khan and Toa. They look like fools at one point in the ring where I was like, all right, you don't do that with them in this way, in this manner, because they're going to go back to ROH and have to be like, we're the 6-man tag champs though. And you're running into each other and bumbling around. But I do think that this reign is establishing Orange as a threat. So that when you do want to elevate him now, it's like, don't take him as a joke. He held the international title. He's the longest holder of the international title. I think that's what they're trying to do. Hammer, don't hurt us, somebody says. Orange Cassidy has the highest YouTube drawn segment. I keep telling people, there's no lies here on EPW, bro. I'm not going to cap to you guys about stupid stuff. Just like if you ask me, do the Young Bucks have a top 10 AEW match? I think they have at least 2 or 3 of them. If you ask me if my top 10 AEW matches, I could probably put together a list. They're in them. They're in them. So don't think it's just, Conrad hates them all. Not true.
My favorite match. Yeah, my favorite match of AEW is the Elite.
It's
Hangman and Kenny versus the Bucks.
Such a great story. Such a great story. Minus until you ruined it for me. The whole like, when are we gonna be friends again? I always look at it that way. I'm like, BJ's right. Like,
but at that time, it was fine for me. But we've been a company now for 4 years. Come on, Young Bucks, different story.
Take it.
Yeah, it's like let's quit the friend storylines.
Right. Let's get into this tag team match here, which I thought was different. This did not go the way I thought. If you would have asked me like who's winning this match as soon as I saw the graphic pop up for this, did not go the way I thought it was going to go here. Skye Blue and Willow Nightingale, who is the New Japan Strong Women's Champion, versus the AEW Women's Champion Toni Storm and Ruby Soho. I like this tag match. I really do you feel like this story is taking a backseat? This is going to be more so about the outskirts of this than the actual match. Has this storyline taken a backseat to you with Ruby and like, where's Dr. Britt Baker? What are we doing with this? It feels like it's been all paused.
Yes, I think so.
And we're so
especially on the first collision. Come on. First and foremost, I will say this about the match. I enjoyed most of the match, but early on, right at the start of that match, there were two back-to-back spots that I was like, oh, this might be a disaster. And it was like Ruby getting thrown into the guardrail by Willow. She came in at like this awkward angle on her collarbone and like neck. And I was like, and the very next second, Skye Blue goes for like
her Karana off the apron.
And like, I don't know if she just slipped or whatever, but you heard, and it was her head that hit that mat. And I was just like, oh man, this might not be too good, but it ended up working out just fine. And I was very excited that Skye Blue and Willow got the win. I like the way it turned out. But yeah, the storyline,
I feel like this is leading to Forbidden Door. They're going to do Willow. This is why I think they're getting away with the pausing it right now. Because like Matt said, it sounds like Saray is dealing with an undisclosed issue. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to speculate on what that is. That's her business, her time. Willow versus Toni could happen. And I think this is where you have to try to elevate Willow. And does it have to be for the title? No. Could it be? Maybe. Maybe you decide which belt's going to be on the line at Dynamite or maybe Collision next week. But I think that's going to be the match that they go for at the pay-per-view. If they can't get Stardom or anybody else to join in.
I was going to say the hope at this point is that Kyrie can answer somebody and make a match. But I don't know. Yeah.
It was fire, bro. But Ruby just takes bumps like that. Look like my neck. Don't do that, Ruby. You're scaring me. This show doesn't need Baker. The rest of the women's locker room needs to show out. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the storyline though that they had in there, Jocelyn, was like it's been paused, kind of like where we had
Jamie Hayter get hurt. Things kind of dissolved on that front. I think I truly do believe like. Not just you putting it into the ether. I think you were right. I think you were on to we might get a blood and guts match, a 5-on-5, and now Hayter's out and whatever Saraya's thing is. So it does feel like we've just kind of like, okay, this is a back burner story now. And then if we can get there in time, we'll put it back in the front. If not, it is what it is.
Listen, I know a lot of you guys are pissed Jamie Hayter's hurt. I agree with you. Jamie Hayter being hurt sucks. Totally sucks. But what I think we need to do from this is realize I think Jade's the person to fill her void on the good gals side. As I wrote down here, good gals win. You go over there, put Baker, and then Jade is the reluctant one to join, but then becomes your Incredible Hulk. Like, okay, I'm in here. I'm with you guys, and now I'm here to destroy. You can book her like that, and it will work because you need to pause her going after the Women's World Championship, I think, for a little bit, maybe a year, maybe 6 months or something. Let her work with these people now, and she's going to get elevated again. It's steps in pro wrestling. It's not like I'm good now. No, it's you climb, and then you get there. That's what I miss seeing in wrestling, the chase towards becoming the champion. So that's what I think is going to end up happening. But if Jade's out, Saray's dealing with an undisclosed issue, you have Forbidden Door. This gives you like a month. Like, let's get it together, and then we'll come back on this, and let's rewrite the story a little bit and make it work. Matt Lopez says, Kyrie, I hope, takes on Toni, but Willow versus Toni would be a great sub. Yeah, Jade should be faced. Originally, I heard the rumor were plans of Mercedes versus Saraya, but I don't think that can happen due to injury and all these other issues right now. But if she shows up, I'll take her coming out on stage. You know, I wouldn't be upset with that. They can do some things. I'm going to do this for Derek, Jocelyn, so don't get mad at me. For the Owen Hart Cup, we get a promo next from Ricky. I'm just going to make myself wait for it because I just don't want it to.
Spanish.
I don't agree.
Cut off there.
Perfect timing. Ricky Starks announces he's also in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. Like I said, this is giving some positive vibes. I'm really digging this. It's going to be fun. I like that he's going to be in it with, like I said, Hobbs. We got to start putting some people in these meaningful roles. Like, let's get them on the cards and let's do this, man. I like how the bracket's showing up. I wish they did more bracket tournament reveals. And I like that they didn't, like, try to fit this in with Double or Nothing this year. Double or Nothing, it felt like boom, 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 boom. Let's force it in, and then let's hurry up and try to get to this so that we can have the finals at Double or Nothing. Now it's like, let's take our time. This is an important tournament. We're going to do this on television, and then in Calgary, it's going to culminate. I like that. I think maybe you did too many tours in Canada. You could have scaled that back a little bit, but I think it'll work. Feel free if you got something.
I got nothing against the tournament or the people in it so far. I think it's going to be great. I've noticed with AEW, it's off and on. It's like their touring route is 50-50 of let's go towards an area and set in this area for a while. And then it's like, oh, but here's like 5 shows that are in random places. And then we go back to a new area. And so it's like they did that with Texas for a little bit. They did that with the West Coast a little bit. They definitely hit the East Coast a lot right before.
It makes you wonder if Tony's schedule is, if the AEW schedule is based on Tony's schedule versus like where they need to be at certain times. That's what I'm wondering. Good stuff, though. I'm happy that they're moving forward with it. I personally would rather prefer that they do like the random schedules, or if you're going to do a tour there, 1 to 2 shows, then get out. 1 to 2 shows. Leave people wanting more. Don't crush the town and then they don't want to see it again for a while.
Right.
Did you go to any of those house shows, BJ, when they came in your area?
There's only been one. Well, actually, I guess there's technically 2. Kentucky's about the same distance as the Columbus one, but no, I haven't made it to any of those yet.
Yeah, I'm just curious to know how those go. If anyone's been to one, let me know. Throw it at me. I'm just curious to hear how they've been. We get a Jeff Jarrett, Mark Briscoe promo. Sounds like they're getting ready to have a good brawl match, and we'll get into that when we run down the card. Next up, though, put the scissors in the chat because your boys, the Acclaimed, I had to get this because Tony always finds a way to add a graphic in late for me. The Acclaimed come out, and I think they just did like a promo to get the fans hyped. There really was nothing to it. It just confirmed they're going after the trios titles, and they like to scissor. And Billy Gunn got a pretty cool scissoring like outfit that he had on.
I was super hyped that Tony Schiavone got in on it too.
Right?
Yeah.
Really, really good. And Schiavone loved it, dude. It's just his face. Tony, I love when he's in it and you can tell he's happy. If you ever watched the ending years of WCW, I think I mentioned I've been watching like 99. I'm watching Tony Schiavone erode like every week.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
This is the greatest day here in Panama, Florida for pro wrestling. Thank you all so much. Like every night, that's the only thing he says with like happiness.
Yeah.
I'm not at the Mark Madden point where it's like, oh God, why am I doing this?
That's a whole thing. Yeah, I was a WCW kid growing up, so I like lived through a lot of that. I apologize for the coughing. I'm hoping that my mute has been hitting right, so I'm not doing that.
You're fine.
Tony has said even on like his podcast about 99, 2000, he didn't want to be there.
Yeah, I believe it. He says that he thinks they're trying to get touring together with Double J, but isn't that how touring works? You sit in an area, then you move to the next. Is WWE not do that? You try not to do that because once again, you're trying to avoid killing like a town. Like if you went to everywhere in New York, people are going to get jealous of the show that got the really good stuff, and then there's going to be a show with really like nothing. And you're just basically, then no one's going to want to see it for a while. And then if you have people who travel to go to the other show, you're tiring them out to do that. You run into some issues with doing that. doesn't work. It's worked for AEW for now, but I think now they got to change their strategy a little bit. And you can't rely on Chicago as much. You got to pick some different places. Like Six said in the chat, they haven't been to his area. Go to some different states. Have they been to like Nebraska? Have you been to Oklahoma? I'm thinking Midwest stuff. Like there's states that you haven't touched. Iowa, go there.
They've hit like Colorado, but I think that's just because.
Shout out to my guy Will Washington and the Denver Nuggets.
Travel wise, yeah, like Denver Airport is like the biggest one in the U.S. So like that's where all a bunch of connections are anyway. So why not have a show in Denver? I get that, but like I don't think they've hit anywhere else Midwest.
Dustin says it's not going to happen. The Acclaim are not beating the House of Black for the trios titles. Been watching a lot of WCW 93 lately, up to 94 now. You let me know when you get to that spring stampede. Love that show. Love that show. Moving forward, Dynamite. They brought back a team from last year's Forbidden Door. Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Murder Grandpa Suzuki is in the house versus Action Andretti, Darius Martin, and AR Fox. Oh, that trios team is so good. So good. Give them a win. Give them a win. Like, I want them to be a threat. But I don't think you can do that against Murder Grandpa, Jericho, and Sammy.
Not against Murder Grandpa.
No, not against Murder Grandpa. You just can't. Chris Statlander versus Taya Valkyrie for the TBS Women's Championship should be really good. You got Orange Cassidy and Shibata versus Daniel Garcia and ZSJ. The Hardys versus the Gun in a battle of the brothers. And we have ourselves a concession stand fight with Jeff Jarrett and Mark Briscoe to honor the classic Memphis brawls that they used to have. This should be fun. I expect that we'll see mustard used.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I got. I think Mark Briscoe works in these types of things because that match on Rampage, yikes. I don't know. I was not a fan of that Gaga triple, like that trios match they did. I was like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? What else do we have here? And then that blind eliminator tournament. What was that? What is that? There's gonna be a tag title like eliminator tournament, but they didn't say anything about it. Just said blind. So I guess maybe people aren't gonna know that they're in it. I didn't understand it fully.
Or is it that the champions don't know who their opponents are going to be? Because they do the eliminators with, like, they just did Adam Cole and MJF.
Yeah,
that's what they call those matches, to be a contender. So
this one just showed the tag titles and they didn't have anybody listed for it yet. So I don't know if this. We'll have to wait and see. I just hope this isn't going to be some like. What was the lottery? Lethal lottery, maybe. And they're like, Brian Pillman and Vader will team up against Ron Simmons and Butch. Like all right.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, it could help with something that sparked my brain earlier when we were talking. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, conversationally, something just clicked. I would love if Wardlow and Powerhouse Hobbs could somehow become a tag team.
Power.
Make them like AEW's, not in the
Fire and Ice. Say it.
I was gonna say like that, and I don't mean
this the way as Teddy Long. Holla, player. Got Fire and Ice. Mess your ass up.
Yeah, and like, make them like devastating, like and I'm not using this to copy the gimmicks. I'm just saying, make them be a team like the Road Warriors. Make them be a team like the Authors of Pain. Make them be, these big dudes that do not play around. And I think it can work great. And then it's even better when they finally split, because they've been so dominant as a unit, to watch them both just try to like outpower the other person again.
Also, I will advocate for this. Butcher and the Blade. Give them the tag belts and make them your APA. Let them just wreck people. Like, it's Darius Martin and his brother. Shut up. Clothesline done. Power bomb. Get out. Next. That's what I want them to do. But then when someone beats them, it's okay. It's not a big deal. They're not a team where I'm like, build the whole division around them. Let them bridge stuff over for you. Let them be a bridge team where you can give them the belts two, 3 times, and okay, you're going to transition to the next guys, but not right now. In a month, in 2 weeks, in 6 weeks, we'll let you guys drop the belts then. Let them do that type of stuff. Mark Briscoe had a great match with Anthony Henry last Thursday on ROH. He's still chasing Joe. Blind Turning, maybe matches are not pre-announced. Santana and Ortiz, I would love it. I just want them to be friends again, truthfully. Like, I don't even care if they're a team anymore. Like, be friends. All right, you came into wrestling together. It just breaks my heart to hear it. We go through the Forbidden Door card. We're going to be talking about Forbidden Door this week. I do not have the MJF match graphic because at first I didn't think it was happening, but then they had a graphic for it. But I will be there live to see Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada. My pants are sticky. I said it. I don't care. My pants are sticky for this. This is going to be sex. Then not only that, the match that I would probably have as my match of the year, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay from Wrestle Kingdom. I'm just going to get to see it. Like, nah, don't worry about it, bro. Here's the rematch for it. This is why I have to travel to go to shows, because you don't bring this shit to Buffalo. You don't bring the goods. You give me some half-ass shit that, oh, come to New York City, come here. And you make people travel for the good shit. So I'm going to Toronto. I need this. This is going to be great. And we've got Jungle Jack Perry versus Sonata.
Oh, right before you announced that, I was very envious. Now I'm like, sorry.
Listen, these two matches, you could have put shit versus piss on this card after that. I don't care. I'm good. I'm good with those two matches. I can't bitch about anything. I'm good. I'm good.
Maybe the Jungle Boy match will be the cool down match.
I think that this match will actually be better than people think. And I think there's going to be an element of story to it. More on that later with Hook. Yeah. Hook be in my corner. We're best friends. I was like, oh, the puke. Like, what is this? Puke. Gross. I said that match makes me moist. This is in Canada. Yes, it is. I will have a Canada Dry just for you, Dustin, when I'm there. Lucky SOB Conrad, you will be seeing this live. We need that women's match announced. I think we'll get it on Dynamite and Collision. Like I said, I'm still hoping maybe we can get Kenta and Punk. I think that would be a nice, like, 3-match, like, hey, these are 3 really good matches you can't really complain about because you know what you're going to get out of them. Main event time, Beej. We're reaching towards the end here. Yeah. It was the trios match. Bullet Club Gold, Samoa Joe, Jay White, Juice Robinson. Joe is not in Bullet Club Gold for the record. I don't even know if the guns are, truthfully, at this point. CM Punk and FTR team up. Punk is back. It felt good to have him back. Like, I don't care if you're pissed at him. I've said this on Twitter and everywhere else. I'm trying to make peace with everyone with this. Like, you're hurt. All we're doing is hurting the reputations of both people on both sides. Mm-hmm. Punk fans hate the Elite, and now they're not as popular, and Punk's not as popular because of that. We need to end it, and I really hope that maybe they do a feud and then there's a handshake or something, or a way to build heat on this, and it's like, okay, they're good, we're good. And I think the fans will follow their suit. Yeah. That's just my personal opinion on it. But this match was great. I like this match a lot. I had this book differently in my mind and how I would have done this, but that's just me. JR has entered the chat. Yeah, Jay, I feel bad for JR. Shit versus piss. What is this, a Rampage review? Chill. Shouldn't Bullet Club be going up against New Japan's Bullet Club? I think we're going to get a crap ton of matches happening. Would rather see Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr., but whatever this will do, be patient, my friend. I think you're still going to get that, but Okada was on that bucket list, and Okada is one of a kind. And I think that match will hit something different for people. Mm-hmm.
I think personally, if I'm imagining the world of wrestling the right way, that's
my
funny.
New Japan fans will love that.
But if they're if the way I imagine this will all pan out, because Danielson has said that he's wanted to go to Japan and stuff and do things, but he hasn't been able to yet. So we're finally getting the Okada thing.
Tony's not letting him go over there. I hope people know that he cannot afford to have Danielson not available for anything for 6 weeks. He ain't going for that.
I'm going to disagree on one front.
Go ahead.
Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh, for one match, but I'm saying he can't do G1. People want him to be. I'm like, he can't do the G1.
No, I think Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr. happens there in a super Japan strong style technical match, because while the fans here would love to see that match on like an AEW show, they're not going to put on the same style of match that they would put in New Japan. And the people who watch both understand that, but the people who will watch New Japan, it'll be appreciated way more in their style of wrestling each other with a long, intense match rather than what they get here.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. Like I said, I'm happy to see whatever we get. If they can send Danielson to Japan, I'll be happy to. Don't take it as like I don't want him there.
Oh, right.
Who are the Bucks gonna fight at Forbidden Door? I have no clue. I think it's gonna be some multi-person tag match they'll be in. I can't see them just doing a straight tag match with anybody. Maybe Bucks and FTR team up. Like, this all depends on your future booking, though. Like, if you were going to do that match at All In, have Bucks and FTR team up, miscommunication happens, New Japan guys get the win, and then it's like, the hell's your problem? What's your problem? Push up, push up, push up. Oh, tempers were flaring here. And then maybe Punk and Kenny get into it with the whole, you could do something if that was, I'm wishful thinking. Let me stop. Hold on. Save it for the end, BJ. Let's get to the main event real quick.
Okay.
Because we definitely skipped over this. I'm gonna put this graphic back up. Why? Just because it makes me happy to see this graphic back up. The chop exchanges were great in this. Dax Harwood. I'm gonna jump all the way to the middle. I do have this in here that when Samoa Joe got in, he started tearing CM Punk's ass up. He was chopping the shit. He was like, welcome back to wrestling. Chop. And I was like, oh my God, I'm having Ring of Honor flashbacks when I wanted Punk to win the belt in 04. And Joe was just like, I'm going to beat your ass every time you think you have it. I'll never forget. He did an O'Connor roll. That's the roll where you roll him into the ropes and you roll back into the pen. I thought he had it. It was 1, 2. And I saw Joe's hand grab the bleach blonde hair and put him in the choke. And I was like, no, God, no, please. I just want this moment where Punk beats him. Never got it. That's the story, in my opinion, with all of this. Punk has never pinned or beat Joe. And that's why I said if it were up to me, Punk would have came back and I would have had Joe choke him out. I would have had Joe beat him. That was my personal thing, because then that could have kept this going. Even if you want to come back to it later, you had it. You would have had it in your pocket.
Technically, we do, because if they wouldn't have been able to make the save, Punk was gone.
Yeah, and that's Joe. That could always be Joe's argument. You've never had me. I've always had you. Trust me, I got your number, and that's the story that they were trying to tell with this. Cash got some hot tags. I thought they got a little wonky towards the end there with the Power and Glory spot where I think someone was out of place. It was like, I got to make this tag. You're in the way. Grabbing the rope. I'm going to just do this. And then Punk makes the tag, and it was on the apron, and it was like, wait, what? What do you guys do? Whatever. Macho Man elbow off the top. They make the save. That spot where FTR, they're really good at those. The hope spots where like Jay White's holding them and they're being held. Punk's fading. You see his eyes closing. And he, who was it? Dax runs, or Cash runs in to save Dax so Dax can make the save with the headbutt, running into Joe. Joe's like, I got to piss blood. Tags in Juice, and I was like, oh, we know what's about to happen here because it's Juice. By the way, Juice Robinson needs gold pants, damn it. If it's Bullet Club gold, give that man some nice gold pants. This will be money.
Yeah.
I was loving it. So he comes into the ring. We know what this is going to be. He eats the big rig into the GTS. Good night, Irene. And I saw what Punk mouthed to him, which I thought was so cool, which was the thank you. He looked like, you better not ever thank you. And I saw what he said to him. He said, thanks for doing that. Because Juice Robinson's been someone who's like a journeyman. He's the one who takes the pin. He's always the middle of the crowd, but he's really, really good. And I've been saying that since this dude was CJ Parker. I love Juice Robinson. I think he's really good.
Oh, yeah. I will say, overall in the entire show, I will this is just like overview of something that I just didn't get to bring up. I love the commentary team. I love Kevin Kelly being back to call stuff because I liked him in Ring of Honor. I really like him in New Japan. And he does bring a different perspective because
is this permanent, the Kevin Kelly thing? I've been wondering.
I really hope, because he brings this perspective of he mentioned how many times the TNT title has been defended. He mentioned how many championships, like it was like how many times it's shifted holders, like giving that title prestige and lineage. He was saying how long Samoa Joe had been holding belts. Now there was a few steps, like with Andrade, like at first he messed up his last name and then he called him Andre the next time. But like I feel like also he's not used to like a really live ruckus crowd. Or it hasn't been in 6 years because he's just been calling all New Japan. So he's either been doing
probably
it
from his home studio office, like we're talking now. They're probably just
or it's been like Wrestle Kingdom where they're not making that noise and stuff. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt on those kinds of things. JR, I was happy that JR at least showed up for the main event. I know JR was losing his voice. I know he had that bad fall today, but I liked how he at the end. He doesn't have to do this, but I liked how he at the end said, I love this. I wouldn't have missed it for anything. And he apologized for his voice, but it's like, he doesn't have to do any of that. I'm glad he did, but
BJ in the chat, I went through a whole slew of emotions today with JR, because at one point I was like, maybe JR shouldn't do this anymore. I feel for him because I feel for anyone who's falling. If you have elderly parents or you have a grandma, grandpa, anybody, when they start falling, take care of those people. All right.
Yep.
It's not good news if they start falling. And I felt bad for JR today. But when JR was on commentary, this was the best job he's done on commentary in a while. I felt like Kevin Kelly was saying things that spark stuff in his brain. Like, this is a tag team. They're trying to turn this into a handicap. I was like, that's the JR I've been wanting. Like, get it out of him. But I feel like Excalibur and Taz have their own chemistry, and it doesn't flow with what JR is trying to do.
Right. And Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin has that experience with JR back on the Raws. They called that first hour together there for a good while. So he's
a mentor to him too.
Yeah. So he's got that. The JR stuff, like I said, I actually mentioned in one of my group chats earlier today, or last night when they first announced the team, I was like, oh, this is going to be JR's, like, he's going to be so great because he loves Punk and he loves calling matches like that. So he's going to do amazing here. And sure enough, he did. So, like, yeah. And with that fall, I agree with you. Like, definitely watch out and hope that everything's all right for him and that he heals quickly. But yeah, I can't say anything bad about it, like production wise. I think this felt pretty good and pretty smooth of a show.
I'm going to agree with Sean. I like it on Saturdays. It felt old school. I like it. I was like, wrestling on a Saturday night's a good thing. I'm going to agree with E real quick. He said, put Danielson and Punk in. Here's what I'm saying. With Toni can do these things. I feel like Tony's afraid to do these things, though, because like, I need you just in case. Like, I need to have you. Think of it like an action figure. Like, I need to have this here. But I'm like, bro, but you don't need it right now. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you can afford to. You have Yuta, you have Garcia, you have all these other great talents. You don't need it. You could let Danielson go for a couple of weeks. It'll be fine, and he could call in for his other duties that you want him to do. Same with Punk. Same with many others. FTR, whomever you want to send over there. You can let people do tours over there. It'll be okay.
Right. I think we were getting to a place when the COVID stuff was starting to let up over there too, where we were maybe going to get there, but that was that first forbidden door and all these people got hurt suddenly. And I think like he might be quote unquote gun shy to doing it right now because he went through a situation where, I had guys who were hurt a bunch. And then it was like a few months after that, he had 4 big stars have to be suspended. And so like every time he's had like an up of, you've got all these people, something has quickly taken someone that he's had dramatically change some stuff. So he might be a bit gun shy to do it, but I think he should too eventually, if not this year, next year for sure.
Hashtag shit happens is what I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
If Danielson survives next year, get Danielson versus Sabre Jr. on Dynamite or Collision. I'd be fine. You could do that on Ring of Honor. That'd be a great way to get people to spike up some buys real quick. The Elite versus House of Torture.
No.
Oh, fuck House of Torture. I'm so sick of that group. I like some of them, but I'm like, dude, no. They're the shits.
It what?
They're the shits.
Oh,
I said it. Like nobody wants them on their screen. It's because you could tell they're really trying to put evil over, and you're just like, it's not working, bro.
They had opportunity, and then the way they went about it ruined him. It absolutely ruined him. He could have been way bigger than what he was. Like he was on the rise. He was going to be, and then the way they did it because of, I get pandemic booking, all that, but the way they did it, it killed him. He's done. Like, yeah. The commentary team with Kevin and Nigel on Collision. Kevin will still do New Japan. I still need Moro Ronaldo. I don't know if Moro wants to call wrestling at this point. I would love Moro to, but I don't know. I think JR actually, whether it was on his podcast or in like a tweet, gave. Can you still hear me?
Mm-hmm.
My mic went weird for a second on my screen. Gave like a thing about Morrow, saying that like he liked Morrow, but he didn't suspect Morrow would do it because Morrow doesn't like to travel as frequently as the wrestling would make it because he deals with anxiety, and that's all very valid. He stepped away from like popping up at shows and stuff for a lot of things because he was taking care. Was it his mother?
Yeah, someone was sick in his family, I believe.
And he stepped away to like take care of them. And I think he's done a few shows since then, but they have been, they've been like a special one night type.
You know
of thing.
what? I would be fine adding him to that mix of that team for one night. Have Moro Ronaldo make a big call. Definitely worth it.
They could do that for All In.
Ooh, special team just so that it's fair. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Yeah, I had that feeling. I know I crack jokes and fun, but I love JR. He's the voice of my childhood. Plus, that's someone's grandfather, as someone who misses his grandma. Take care of the elderly. Appreciate that, Stick. Have Dick Togo manage Wardlow, please. We got the Hamburglar Arn taking care of that right now. Tokyo the Menace doesn't like House of Torture. Send Evil somewhere to learn a new hold. Evil sucks. Title reign sucks. Man, wait, he lost to Io Skye? Oh goodness, I didn't know that. If that's true,
yeah, I didn't know that.
We won't bring it up. But BJ, I wanted to get your final thoughts on what could possibly be happening at all of this Punk Elite stuff, because you kind of have a theory, and I kind of wanted to close out with that with you guys. Leave your Collision grades down below. I'm going to just say this is a thumbs up show. I'm looking forward to Collision. Keep this going every week, though. Don't stop. But
this, my rating for this show is this was a quality family night when you were the kid at a Pizza Hut restaurant.
Ooh.
That's where I'm giving this. So
glass light fixtures above.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Dusty with the string on top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
just blow it off your pizza, kids. It's fine.
Got the little coloring like on the back of the menu thing. Yep.
Yes.
So but the potential on where this goes, if it can lead to the subliminal image that keeps showing up sometimes around here of Punk and Kenny, has a mind of its own.
I don't know. I think Sean's controlling it when it happens.
No.
We can just blame Sean Hubbard Wrestling Weekly, Clash the Podcast, live every Monday, 6:05.
Kept it up with the entire
what are you cooking?
team.
What's book in mind BJ cooking, though?
So I think for All In, this is what we do. That is the main event. It is Punk and Kenny. We do bring out the quote unquote dirty laundry because we know supposedly that Punk and Kenny are cool. Like, if you want, I hate to bring it up in this manner, But if everyone's fine with it and legally they could have Kenny and Punk have to interact for some kind of situation, bring up that they're okay with each other, and then like Punk be a total dick to him, and he just says, you know what? I shouldn't have picked up your dog. I should have just let whatever happen.
Could you imagine the
exactly? That's like the most simple thing, and it's
like a John Wick thing.
Yep. And then Punk is infuriated, and it's on. And then then we can make all the remarks we want and bring it out because gloves are off. You just threw them off. All right, let's do this. All in. And I think that is a great way to go. I don't really know what else we could put as another huge main event from just two AEW talents that we haven't seen before or couldn't potentially be big enough to, be the feature. I think we've got Pac lingering, whether or not he's back before the show or back at the show. I think he'll be there. I think Toni, especially when he said bringing back the spirit of All In, I think that means that not Forbidden Door, but like we are open to working with different companies for things. So
I just smell too much weirdness with this. The significant increases in contract. I think that the new contract is like, okay, either you're going to play ball with Punk or you're not an EVP, and I'll give you this big raise. You know what I mean? Like, I think there were some things with this, like, okay, well, I'll give you the big raise, but you got to say you'll work with Punk.
Right, and they haven't signed yet. It's still...
or you go to the E. And then you got Hangman, which that's probably a whole nother issue in and of itself, but...
Yeah. But I think we're getting Ospreay there because home country, that would be huge.
Ospreay versus Pac.
That would be pretty incredible. We've got there's a lot of possibilities here on this show, but I think you get MJF involved in some kind of storyline where he has to, whether it's a tag team or whether it's the title eliminator match, but make it a multi-man, make it a 3 or 4-way. And the winner of that, well, guess what? Next week you face them at All Out.
Yeah.
But it's a star-studded 4-way so that no matter who wins, you got a quality title match on its way.
Right.
So,
hey, Fish is back. Give Flip Gordon a job. Listen, Bobby Fish can come back as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, I think everyone should be forgiven in all these situations. Bobby Fish just needs to apologize. Go ahead. Go back with Colin, Fish, and O'Reilly. Go do your thing. All is forgiven. You will be
need the sound bite. Where's the lie?
You
need that just randomly.
With the crickets behind it, because I hated when he said that. See how Punk got a reaction when he said it tonight? Mm-hmm. Bobby Fish did not. He did not. That's definitely going to be something that they'll never forget. BJ, feel free to promote your stuff. What do you got coming up? And then we'll carry on out.
Listen, right now, I have been working on some things way behind. Run the Ropes has kind of been real low in activity and stuff for a little bit, but the planning has been there. I'm bringing back our 2K, whether that's stream or YouTube yet. I'm kind of piecing together like time frame and when we can do some stuff, but I'm bringing back, we run a 2K league, RTR2K. Conrad is in it. There's a bunch of people from our page that's in it. We've got some people who are going to be new to it, coming in. I've already got belts made. I've already got the shows set up. I've got some bits and pieces for everything starting up. And I extend this out to anyone listening, anyone who's a part of EPW, anyone who enjoys this kind of content. Basically, we will run the shows. We will do the commentary. We let the AI, figure out which way the finishes are going and how everything rolls. If you want to, be featured in a video game, have your character made or whatever, you can hit me up on Run the Ropes on all of our socials, Facebook, Twitter. We got all of that. I can get with you on all of that, and we can put you in the game, and it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun with it. That's probably my biggest thing coming up right now. I will mention this. This is putting this in the ether that hopefully everything goes well. I'm telling you this, Conrad. You mentioned a couple weeks ago, when I was in the chat and stuff, maybe getting a live stream for the post Forbidden Door. If you can't do it, maybe having someone do it. I may be up for that. I'm waiting to see where some pieces fall, but so you might see me here in just like a week talking with you all at the end of Forbidden Door, and being extremely jealous that you'll get to see what I'm sure is going to be a great card in person.
Yeah, I've been debating on if I want to go live. Last time we tried this in Canada, Wi-Fi not so great, but maybe we'll try it. Did you say game Fight Forever? I know that's on everyone's mind. The ass whooping for Derek is coming. That steak, egg, and cheese bagel is going to be the worst thing he ever ate. I'm telling you, I'm going to record him eating it. I said the real recording should be when you take that dump later afterwards, because I want you to remember that every time you say steak is not a breakfast food. Disrespect.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with the steak, egg, and cheese. But the Fight Forever stuff, that game, everything that I've seen, the only comments that I'll make on that, I'm probably that's funny. I'm extremely excited about this game. The more and more I see, I'm ready for it. I almost thought when they were like saying like character suite and stuff that like create one, like, oh, maybe I've like moved the league over to that. I am not. This game looks like one that if I, or probably anyone streaming it, they are not going to be running some kind of league. They're going to be having fun. You're going to see people just having fun on this stream, which is something I don't want this to sound like a jab, because it's not. They both have their own respective realms in video game world, but they're not running a show. They're not running a simulation. They're having fun with their wrestling games like we used to back in the day. They're having 20-minute matches where the person just mashes the buttons well enough to get that kick out at 3 when it's like, how, you're in the blue. Like, come on. Like, what do I got to do?
Yeah.
And
you might throw like gasoline on somebody and it blows up.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. Those mini games looked hilarious too. So
yeah, listen, the games is gonna be fun, and also don't forget they're having season content come out. So maybe if you say you don't like something, it'll happen. And I actually have a video that I'm trying to put together, but it's gonna take some time, and I want it to be like under 10 minutes. So I'm gonna try and put together a pretty cool video to present some ideas. Just be patient with me, and we will try to get that out before the game is released as well, before I leave for that. So hoping by next week I can have everything complete and finished with that. Me and Derek will do the Dynamite review. Me and Hubs are going to go live on Monday for Clash of the Podcast. BJ, you are the best. I thank you for any time you do a show for us, a podcast, whatever you do. It's always appreciated. You know how it is. Family, Run the Ropes, everything pro wrestling. Thank you guys for that. Macho Man elbow drop from a flying helicopter. Yeah, why not? Why not? Add it in. It couldn't hurt, right? Pragmatic side step of 2K, BJ. LOL.
Hey, them both, but
did I say pragmatic? I meant pragmatic. Holy smoke.
Yeah. This one, like I said, that we have fun with our 2K League stuff. But like that's from a commentary perspective. We're watching, it's spectating. It's just like being a commenter for a wrestling show, and that in itself can be fun and interaction with people. But this is hands-on fun, and it's different.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this game goes. So stick along, follow for the journey. Everything pro wrestling, Run the Ropes. BJ, I can't thank you enough. For myself and my tag team partner, BJ, we are out for this episode of Everything Pro Wrestling. Special collision review for you guys. I won't be here next week. I'm doing a wedding. I don't even know if I can watch Collision live, truthfully, but I will be around. Catch you guys during the week for our usual weekly shows. Clash of the Podcast is up next, 6:05 Eastern Standard Time with Sean Hubbard this Monday. Thank you guys so much. We are out. Peace.
Everyday pro wrestling, they can never be you. Listen to the podcast for the people, the best show that's here, so listen in. Let the knowledge begin, the opinions, the lesson, yes. By the fans, for the fans, not many in this can understand, this the podcast to show you who I am, Conrad Cushman, the legend in the plans, please listen every day to the showcase, the opinions and knowledge that anyone can take, showing you how it is done, proving I am number one, what a legend becomes. This is now my time to show you that I am here. This podcast just to make it loud and clear. By the fans, for the fans, not many who's here can understand everything pro wrestling, they can never be you. Listen to the podcast here for the people, the best show that's here, so listen in. Let the knowledge begin, the opinion and the lesson, yes. Everyday pro wrestling, they can never be you. Listen to the podcast for the people, the best show that's here, so listen in. Let the knowledge begin, the opinions, the lesson, yes.